Hello and welcome to another model review. For this model, it's a Gemini200 United 777-300 ER. This box is so big too. I'm actually as far back as I can go with this camera without going too fast, zoomed in. I'm just gonna take it off the tripod because it's gonna be easier just to show this box a little bit like this. Anyway, here's the box. Absolutely enormous. You get the plane on the outside, model number, the aircraft, it's some other stuff. Going around the box, the model's right back there. Model right there, same in the box. Click to get around this box. More stuff. Same side here, and back side. Anyway, on this box, it actually has a flap. This is gonna look a little bit weird, so I'm gonna put this back on the tripod really fast. This actually has a flap, just like the American Airlines one. Model sits right inside. And right here, we actually have some specs. We have a little bit of history on the 777. Not sure how well you can read that. And right down here we have some specs. Zoom in, please. Come on. Oh, come on, zoom in. Here, just go to the model and see if it does. Okay, maybe it needs to be more light. Hold on. There's the model. It's absolutely huge. I can't wait to show size comparison. Okay, now it's in light. Let's see. There you go. Now you can see it. You can see just some basic information on this aircraft. Anyway, let's get on to the model. And there's actually a little story behind this model, and not this exact same one, but about a week ago, I actually got this model with the American Airlines, but it had an issue with it, and I'll show you what the issue was. This is the newer one. I sent the other one back because I had an issue. So, move away from problems. Going around this model. It doesn't really sit straight on that stand, but it's good enough. It usually just sits in the wheels anyway. See those gigantic engines? They're huge. The side of this plane. This ain't my biggest model, but it is the biggest model with 2 engines I have. This seems very close to the same size of a 747-8. Alright, so the quick story, just a little reminder, if you ever get this model, it's going to come with flaws, because this one came with flaws as well. So when I got it the first time, I had a little problem around the engine where the engine connects to the wing. There's a bunch of glue around that area. This one's all clean, so it's nice. The problem with this one is there's some antennas missing. That black spot is actually silver, and the paint came off around there. It's not too bad, but it's missing 2 antennas. But it's okay. Anyway, getting to some further details around this model. You can see all the cool detail on this. You can see the bottom right there. Landing gear. It does have these little jewels. Let's see if I can get to focus. Yeah, there you go. See, it has like a bunch of jewels in there for landing lights and taxi lights. Really cool. Cockpit windows. You can see the windshield wipers. World Alliance right there. I can't really tell which. Oh, that's Star Alliance. Okay. A little thing that says right there that reads out. Let me see. It says connecting people, uniting the world. Got some underlining gear detail. Very, very well detailed. Big United title on both sides of the plane. This is huge. It's like the length of my finger. All these different sensor ports underneath. And getting closer, there's a landing light on the wing right there, leading edge. And then we come to the engine, the General Electric's engine. The seat is absolutely massive. My finger, it's way bigger than my finger. And yes, it does spin. I can get it spinning really fast too. The other side one does spin, it's just a little bit harder to spin it. Moving along the leading edge of the wing, really nice detail. When the flaps are down, the slats come down too, so all this will peel downwards. More lift. Leading edge of the wingtip. Red navigation light. Get the focus, but my hand underneath it. Surprisingly, the rake wingtip on the 777 is actually smaller than a 787. I'll show you in a comparison. More detail. Light port right there at the end of the leading edge, or not the leading edge, just the end, just right there, the wingtip. Moving down the wing. Let's see if it focus. There we go. Moving down the wing, you can see the aileron right here. Fuel dump port, just right there. You can see the spoilers, the flaps, the flaperon. I probably forgot the name of that secondary aileron right there. More spoilers and flaps. We have the exit door, and it actually has some lines to follow. Believe me, this scene right there, the size of that fall line is way bigger than the sidewalk. Just to get an idea how big it is. I'm pretty sure it's at least 2 sidewalks put next together. It's big. Anyway, I think this big black line on both sides of the wings, it's like a limit, so you don't want to walk past this, go into the, it's just like, no, don't pass kind of zone. Moving on, we got some more doors, windows. There are 5 doors on this plane on one side, and the other side has 5, so it's basically like 10 in total. Registration, I'm trying to remember, I think it's November 2749, uniform, there we go, I keep forgetting the U. American flag, another door, little port right there. There's one on the front as well, if you didn't notice. Moving on to the back end, we got horizontal stabilizers. Also has a really cool leading edge. 2 little round dots, those are the logo lights that shine into the tail. Very nice detail. Moving to the tail, this is really nice. There's probably a little bit of speck of dust on there. There we go. This is huge. Very big tail, and it's very well detailed. You can see how they printed it out on there. Very, very cool. And we have the APU back there. It's 3D, so it's really cool. Moving to the other side, it's exactly the same, of course. Same stuff, just, oh yeah, there's also the boarding door, not the boarding door, the cargo doors. There's 2 of them. You can see the smaller one on the left and the bigger one on the right. Over here you have the, let's see, green navigation light. And the other engine, General Electric's GE90. And this one, if I can get the camera in good position, also spins. Same side up here. Same stuff. Moving on to the top of this plane. That's a beacon light right there, Wi-Fi dome, missing antenna. So hopefully if you end up getting this model, you don't have that same issue. 2 more kind of domes. They're really similar to the Wi-Fi dome, but they're smaller and they're painted black for some reason. They should be like that actually, where they're just outlined instead of blacked out. I'm not sure what's going on there. Another missing antenna, and this other one is all jacked up. Oh well. It's fine. It's just antennas. Moving on to the bottom of this plane. Starting from the top. Escape hatch, and then the landing gear doors. Some more sensors you can see. Moving down, all the sensors you can see. You have a ram air intakes right here. Bottom of the GE90s. Very well detailed. Landing gear. If you can notice, it actually has a little piston on it. Pretty cool. They do tilt, so you can notice. Bottom wing is just regular Gemini jets. Skymarks is way better. Moving down, you get the logo. It's a little piece of hair right there. There we go. I forgot what this is called, but this is like a secondary. This would drop down. I mean, it's called a rat. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not, but if the plane loses power, this little box opens up and it will come out. It's just like a little fan. Logo, antennas. These ones are just fine. This one's actually painted. Coming down all the way back to APU doors to get inside the APU. I also forgot to show there's a little box right there, and that opens up, and that's the intake for the APU. Alright, and one other strange thing, the landing gear nose actually looks just fine in this shot, but in person it actually looks like it's a little bit tall. But it doesn't seem to matter, just fine. This model can barely roll. It's so stiff. I mean, the landing gear, it can, let's see if I can get it. It can tilt just fine. But it will not roll. Although it does roll. The nose one does roll. This one also rotates too. A little bit stiffer. It's not like the other ones with the super loose. This one can indeed rotate. Anyway, let's get to the size comparison. Before we get to the size comparison, here's the stand. Same size as Qantas one. There's a little bit of oil on it for my hands. It also has a nice foam thing at the top, so when your plane does sit on the stand, it doesn't scratch it. Screws in the bottom. It's made of metal. Now let's get to the size comparison. Alright. Here is the United 777 next to actually a lot of different models because I want to compare how big the scene is. So, over here we have Qantas 787-9. Right here we have the Southwest 737 MAX 8. Over here we have the American 757-200. And over here we have Air Force One 747-8I. And you can tell the 777 is easily can compare it to the 747. Now, this is what gets really cool. So, having the smallest plane here, the 737, if I can get the planes moved, just so I can just show you how big the 777 is. It's also really heavy. It's like 2 pounds. Here it is, next to the 737. It is tiny. And if you're wondering, these GE90s are in fact, look, it's so, this plane is so big too that the 737 can actually fit underneath it. So getting these compared together, the engine diameter is indeed bigger than the 737's fuselage. How nuts is that? Absolutely insane. And it's kind of crazy too that 737 can fit right underneath a 777's wing with room to spare. And if you're wondering too, the 757's fuselage is the same size of the 737. So yes, the GE90 is indeed still wider than the 757's fuselage. And what's nuts is the newer 777X engine is even bigger than this one. So it's getting crazy now. Anyway, get some more comparisons. Here it is next to 747-8F, or 8I, sorry. And it's nearly the same size. Only difference is This one's a little bit longer, and the wingspan's a little bit bigger. Although, the 777X is longer than this plane, and its wingspan's nearly the same size. Pretty big, huh? Moving the 747 out of the way, over to this other side of the table. Here it is next to the 757. So, good idea how to like a good length. So from the tip of the fuselage going back and to the tip of the wing like this, it's about the same length, if not longer, than the 757. So it still has like over 100 feet of room behind it. And of course, this doesn't even make it to the edge of the wing. Moving on to our final model to compare up next to the 777 is the 787. And yes, they're actually very close in the same size. Now, here's what I was talking about before. The rake wingtips, the 787's rake wingtip is bigger. As you can see, that there's a rake wingtip for the 777, and here's the one to the 787. It's nearly twice as big, but the wingspan is smaller than the 777. Pretty crazy, huh? If you're wondering about engine size, I think they use the same kind of like blades in them. Maybe I can't tell. See if I can get these engines close enough together. I was comparing them. Oh yeah, if you're wondering, by the way, the wingtips do sit about the same height. So getting the 787, see if I can do this without touching the wings. There, that's the best I can do. You can see that the GE90 is definitely bigger than the GE NX1B, I think that's what it's called, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's definitely bigger. Anyway, I hope you like the comparison and the review. And also, just a quick update, I will have Airbuses coming soon to this channel. I know most of my reviews have been all Boeing. Actually, just all of them have been all Boeing, but trust me, as soon as there's an Airbus one I want that comes out, I'll be getting it, and it'll be on this channel. So, hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.